Okay, so we're continuing our football club history series. We're going north of the border from England. We're going to Scotland. We're going to Paisley, to be very precise, and we're looking at St Mirren Football Club. One of the most historical football clubs and one of the most important football clubs for the early establishment of professional football north of the border. They go back to 1877. So they are a very old football club, and they are a founder of the Scottish Football League in 1890. One of only 5 clubs left in existence that were part of that foundation. Out of the 11 that founded it, only 5 are left currently, and they are one of the 5. They've never won the top flight. The best they've done is 3rd in the 1979-1980 season, behind Aberdeen and Celtic. They've only ever won 4 major honours in their existence, all cup honours, if we're excluding lower division titles. Etc. Only 4 major honours in their existence since 1877, which is a bit of a surprise. I know that Rangers and Celtic dominate Scottish football, but you've got Hibs, you've got Hearts, you've got Aberdeen. They've won a fair bit of silverware as well. But St Mirren, really surprised by that not winning a few more trophies since 1877. Bit surprising, but they have appeared in Europe 4 times. Their major rivals are Greenock, Morton, and some of the records are really interesting as well. So they currently play at St Mirren Park, which has been their home since 2009. Currently seats a capacity of 7,937. They have 2 nicknames, the Buddies and obviously the Saints, because St Mirren. Their honours. Now this is where I find it interesting, is they finished 3rd one season, so they were competitive in the late 70s, early 80s. And actually throughout the 80s they were a very, very competitive side. They won the Scottish Cup 3 times. In the 1925-26 season, the 1958-59 season, and the 1986-1987 season. And they also won the Scottish League Cup once in the 2012-2013 season. That is the end of their silverware. They have not won any silverware for 9 years, which I do find surprising. They've only won 4 major trophies. But it is what it is, especially when you are playing in a league system that is heavily dominated by a handful of clubs for the majority of the silverware. Still slightly surprising. That's all I'm going to say on that one. The records is where it gets really interesting. So the record appearances is by Hugh Murray with 462 in all competitions between 1997 and 2012. So he misses out on that Scottish League Cup win by a season. Had he decided to play on for 1 more year, he would have had a winner's medal in his cabinet. But this is where the goal scoring gets interesting. So I've been mentioning in a lot of my club history videos that top goal scoring appears to be for clubs between the 20s and the 50s, maybe the 60s at a push, where a goal scorer gets 30, 40 or 50 goals in a league season or in a total season in all competitions. And that is the case with Dunky Walker in the 1921-22 season with 45 goals in the league. Very similar to the Sheffield Wednesday video where the top goal scorer Derek Dooley got 46 goals in a league season. Dunky Walker gets 45, and this is all before what I call the modern era, the colour TV era, the Sky TV era. We're going back to Pathé newsreels at this point, if it's the 20s, and heavy old leather boots, heavy old leather balls, and the pitch being a mud bath for the majority of winter. Obviously, defending has improved, coaching has improved, fitness levels have improved, the pace of the game has changed, the style of play has changed. But in most of the clubs I'm looking at, the top goal scorer is not in recent times. We're going back 50, 60, 70, 80 years. So it'll be interesting to look at goal scoring averages per decade to see if they've gone up or gone down. We know in the World Cup they've actually gone up. But in league football, have they gone up? Have they gone down? Because top goal scorers, for me, seems to be more in black and white days rather than colour TV. David McRae has the ultimate league goal scoring title, just league, not including cup competitions, with 221 in all league games between 1923 and 34. Again, that's 30s, 20s and 30s we're looking at for the top goal scorer for the club. So again, what we're seeing here is very, very similar to Sheffield Wednesday. Where the goals and the appearances, the goals in a single season are in the 1900s, 1920s, 1930s period, 1950s period. Very similar with St Mirren as well, north of the border. That is a little quirky little thing I've noticed, and a trend with a lot of same with West Ham. Their record goal scorer, his goals record was set between 1920 and 1935. Let's have a look at Derby County, goals in a season. Derby County was in 32-33 at 43 goals in a league season. and the record goal scorer between the 1890s and the 1910s period. So it's an ongoing trend that top goal scorers and top goal scorers per season seems to be earlier than later. Just a trend. But we'll see what happens when we look at some of the La Liga titles and some of the Premier League titles of some of the clubs that are here right now, like Manchester United and Liverpool's and Barcelona's and Real Madrid's, because some of their titles with Messi and Ronaldo may be different. May be different. We shall see. There we go. There's my brief history of St Mirren Football Club. It is very brief because they've only won 4 major honours, including 3 Scottish Cups and 1 Scottish League Cup. But it is a very interesting short little look at history, and some of those records. There's a trend here with these records, as I say, going back to the turn of the century to the 50s, top goal scorers, and it seems to be a trend that goes through every single club that I've looked at to this point. Though I do think Ronaldo and Messi, when I look at Real Madrid, when I look at Barcelona, that's going to change that. That will change. But for the most part, more often than not, record goal scorers and record goals in a season are done earlier rather than later. But there we go. There's my brief little history of St Mirren Football Club, north of the border. A club that probably doesn't get a lot of attention in the mainstream media, doesn't get a lot of attention on social media. But hey, I like looking at some of these quirky little football clubs and some of these clubs which have had less success, but have had some success, like St Mirren, who get overlooked. They're the fun bit of the game. Without clubs like St Mirren being a founder of the Scottish Football League, we may not have had the Scottish Football League. Very, very similar to Notts County, for example, a club that's hit hard times of late, but is the founder of the English Football League. Without some of these clubs being foundation clubs, we don't have the sport we have today. So it is important that we study them, look after them, and support them. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.